Here. And we're here. Hello, Chaos. Welcome to Hello, Chaos, a weekly podcast exploring the messy and chaotic lives and minds of founders, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Every week, we talk to founders from different industries at different companies, different levels and stages of all shapes and sizes. And we hear the real, the raw, and the unbiased founder stories. And it's why our mantra is where aha meets oh shit. We drop new episodes every single Sunday. Founders tune into us for tips, insights, and strategies on not just growing their business, but better ways to be a business owner, a leader, and normalize some of the conversations that the things that we all go through as founders that might not be known, but it helps us feel not so isolated. HelloCast is one of the many resources brought to you by OrangeWIP. That is OrangeWIP, WIP for work in progress. OrangeWIP is a multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs in affiliate cities. We've designed hyperlocal media platforms that are to inform, inspire, and create connections to help founders succeed. Every city needs an OrangeWIP. Our innovative digital zines are an all-in-one content hub with fresh and engaging stories, curated local calendars, and local dynamic roadmaps to help founders navigate their local entrepreneurial ecosystems. We've really done the hard work for all the founders, so they just need to go to one trusted source, OrangeWIP, to find all the local information they need. My name is Jennifer Sutton. My friends and family call me JJ. I'm the founder of OrangeWIP and will be your host today. And we have Phoebe Sherman, founder and CEO of Girl Gang Craft. Welcome, Phoebe.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you're on. Welcome to the chaos. Been looking forward to talking to you. I know that we've gone back, our teams have gone back and forth, and I'm just excited to hear about your journey. So just start us out. Like, how did you get to start Girl Gang Craft, become a founder? You're a CEO. Tell us how it all started.
Yeah, so around 2016, I started to make some feminist apparel and was looking for places to sell my work in the Bay Area in California. And finding that places were sort of expensive and exclusive at the time, sort of minimalistic, like whites and beiges were really in vogue, if you will. And so my sort of colorful political brand felt a little bit different, a little bit isolated. And some of these events were, upwards of $800 to participate in for the weekend, which is a lot of money.
That is a lot for an indie craft. Yeah.
It's still a lot of money, and definitely starting out, that's not really accessible for a lot of folks. So I wanted to create a space that was a little bit more affordable and a little bit more political and a little bit more fun to really sort of not only engage the communities of small business lovers, but also to really connect the small businesses to each other.
Very good. So what's been the most, I think, rewarding aspect of this? You've been at it for a while. I mean, 2016.
So the first Girl Gang Craft was 2017, and here we are at 2024.
I know.
Yeah, halfway through the year, July. I have no idea how that happened. So I would say there's two things. One is really getting to play a role in watching other founders grow and scale and blossom. That's been really rewarding just to be part of some of these founders' journeys for a really long time. Some of these vendors really just been with us for every show since the beginning. We're doing a giveaway this week with someone who was at the very first Girl Gang Craft. So that's really cool. And then selfishly, I get to do really fun things most days. I mean, there's some things that are a little bit more wild than others, but I really get to do some things that I'm interested in every day, and also get to be the curator of my schedule, if you will. After this, it's hot there, it's hot here. I'm gonna go to the pool. I'm gonna go to the pool for a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back and work later.
Yeah.
That's just what's gonna happen for me today, and it's really a beautiful freedom to be able to, not be at the whim of someone else, and to really
That's right.
organize my life that in a way that is fruitful for me.
For everybody. So do you still have a line of your own? Is
Yes.
is it apparel?
Yeah.
Or is it all kind of accessories?
It's apparel, accessories, and we're sort of starting to dive into some homewares as well.
Oh, and is it still under the same theme, a little bit more edgy and political? And okay.
Yeah. So we say it's for feminists, for small business owners, and witches. So we have a couple different lines for folks who maybe are under one category or maybe are under all of those categories.
Yeah. And so and is it live events or is it online events? I mean, all of the above?
Yeah, so we do craft fairs in person. So
Okay.
we have our Oakland Craft Fair. That has been our first craft fair since the beginning. It's sort of, transformed, but we've been with our venue for, I don't know, like 5 years now. So we've been there
Yeah.
for a while. We have our Oakland venue. We also opened up Sacramento this year.
Oh,
So
wow.
we have our Sacramento show. And then we're over here. I'm in Salem, Massachusetts. So we have events here in Salem and also Providence, Rhode Island. So
Ah,
at our events,
both coasts? Like
both coasts, New England and
coast to coast.
California. Yes. So I live on the East Coast now, but some of my team still lives on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, at our events, you can expect to shop. There is generally a DJ. We have some good photo moments. We've had tattoo artists before and massage therapists. And so it's really like, it's not your grandma's craft fair. It's not in the basement. It is, really fun and energetic and a good place to really support your local creatives.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I'm just wondering, did the witch line come in after you moved to Salem? Or
Definitely a little bit before, but Salem has definitely influenced our witch community. Absolutely. Yeah.
and Girl Gang Craft, I mean, I love the name. Is that really kind of builds a tribe a little bit, kind of like, hey, this is your tribe of creatives.
Yeah, so we really wanted that community feel. We wanted to be femme forward. So, anyone. So we have, female folks, non-binary folks, gender expansive folks, anyone who's sort of been marginalized or, doesn't feel included in other spaces.
Okay.
So we really wanted to celebrate this group of people.
Make sure that everybody's included.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's okay. I'm a little Mythbuster moment. What do you think is the biggest misconception people have about being an entrepreneur or a founder of a business? And how would you debunk it?
Yeah, I think a lot of folks think it's really linear. Like, you
Ah.
start a business and it goes the way you want and you scale, whatever. And that is not the case. I like to say, and this is a lot of people say this too, right? That the business that you start with is not the business that you grow.
That's right.
And, we've all experienced that with COVID, the pandemic, but I started off making, little uterus pouches, zipper pouches. Like my business is so different now. We have a podcast, we have classes and courses, and we've really sort of become, leaders in the space of the entrepreneurial space. And yeah, that is not what I started when I was sewing my little zipper pouches.
Yeah, you got to pivot. You got to go where the market is telling you to go. And yeah, no, that's a great myth. And you just debunked it. All right. So you were doing live events then 2 or 3 years before COVID hit. What did you do to pivot and overcome COVID?
Yeah, so fun. So yeah, back in 2020, we had our events scheduled. We had plans to be in some new cities. Like we had planned to be in Sacramento in 2020. And obviously we had to push back our events and we pushed them back, multiple times. And I really, we sort of had plans to sort of be part of the community aspect of entrepreneurs, but we really had to double down on that. So I started my podcast in March of 2020, and really wanted to, and we developed classes as well. So I think our first set of classes was called Summer School, teaching folks brand partnerships, email marketing, and content creation. We had to double down on our own revenue streams as well. Really pull in brand partners, not only, in the event space, which was what we had been used to doing, right? Working with drink brands and things to like be in front of our in-person audience, but really tailoring that for the online space as well. Like, how do we partner with these big brands to get in front of, our entrepreneur community digitally? So that was a big thing. And then, the government helped us during that time as well. And we survived. We're here.
I was like, you're still here.
We're still here.
What do you think was the biggest aha moment then? I mean, from 2017 to now, like, that breakthrough moment or some like significant situation that you were like, I mean, was COVID it, or did you have other kind of aha moments that were breakthrough for you?
Yeah, I totally forget what I wrote on my first conversation with you. But I'm thinking about now, like right now I've really been into this time management thing and like, how do I structure my day? And I think something that's come to fruition currently is like, my brain doesn't work like other people's. Like, everyone's brain works differently. And everyone has different, and the cool thing about having your own business is like, you can structure your life to what works for you. And like, you don't need to fit yourself into the 9-to-5 mold. I'm not someone with children, but I might soon. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people who are caregivers and have all these responsibilities, not to mention like maybe another 9-to-5, right? Like, it is your, you can structure your time. And so you don't need to like hold yourself to these standards. Like, I think this like waking up at 5 a.m. thing that you see on all the entrepreneur, get up at 5 a.m. and work out and all that stuff. I'm like, I like to sleep. Me too. I'm a sleeper. I like to come back. I've been finding this summer, I've been going, I can't work between the hours of like 3 or 5. Like, it's just not working for me. And that happens to be the same thing in winter lately too, because that's the time that the sun's still out and you have to like get outside. So, like, actually working in some evenings has been a good thing for me. And it's actually like enjoyable, or like finding ways, like, I don't know where, I got this thing where like, I need to be really serious when I'm sending out emails and I need to be at my desk. And lately I'm finding out that I have an easier time sending out emails when there's TV on. And so like, that's actually like my like, relaxed time, and I enjoy it more rather than like hammering it out. And I don't know, like sometimes we make things harder for ourselves.
Yeah. I feel it. That it's interesting. When I started the business, the sister company to OrangeWIP is Bright Marketing that I started in 2013. OrangeWIP just became a passion business of, I saw a gap and a need for entrepreneurs and founders and filled it. But it was interesting. That was one of the piece of advice I got from another founder of, you're going to see, they're like, Jumper, you're going to see that you think you'll see time differently. And you'll view money differently, like, and your value of time. Like, if you, like, for me, for a service, I bill out at $300 or $400 an hour. Like, you might need to hire a yard person that pay them $20 an hour because it takes away, or, in the creative space, you've got to have time to, I call it on the download, to think. Like, you need moments of brevity to go to review things, to be creative, to think creatively. So that just doesn't happen in a 9-to-5 moment. So, we're kind of working all the time, but it's like you said, it's like, okay, this is not working for me. I'm going to go take a break for a few hours because I know I'm going to come on. Or, you know what? I got stuff to do. I've got kids. I got stuff to do on a, Thursday. but I know I'm going to put the time in on Saturday and Sunday because it's our business. Like it's hard for us to shut it off. Right. Um, my little glitch of my microphone. So do you have, I know we joked around about the routines that you see it, on social media, but you have routines that you do to kind of like you just said, keep TV on so it's not so stressful. Are there other routines or things that you do to be more productive or focused or, deal with like, this is stressful and I need to relieve the stress?
Yeah, I'm not one of those people who has like, okay, then I meditate and then I journal and I write my gratitude stuff. Like that's not for me. Like I feel like I also some background. I taught yoga for a long time. I feel like the gratitude stuff is integrated. I feel like I have a lot of the tools for mindset shifts, etc. So like I'm not exercising those sort of routines. My exercise itself is sort of sporadic. Some of these things I also have really learned are connected with like my cycle or even just like the weather. So like every day is so different for me. I do have like a calendar system that I would love to talk about.
Yeah.
I am someone who believes that the to-do list should be thrown away.
Hmm.
I believe that the to-do list is actually harmful because it is never done, right? If you just have a long string of tasks, it's designed to make you feel bad about yourself because you're not going to finish it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ever.
So what do you do? So talk to me about your calendar.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit more like task management. So some weeks are more wild than others, but traditionally, not this week. I like to theme my days. So like for Monday for me is CEO day.
Yep.
Tuesday is like community. I hop on calls. I do podcast stuff, maybe some team stuff. Wednesday is creative. Often that means content or maybe some brand partnership stuff or whatever. It's not painting, which it was supposed to be at some point.
You'll get there. You'll work that in.
And then Thursday, sort of team outreach stuff. Like I'm pitching wholesalers and pitching partners, stuff like that. And then Friday, I tend to have as a financial or overflow day. In the summer, I feel like we are always skipping town on Friday. So really we have a 4-day week all summer, which can also be stressful. But then I take all my tasks, like maybe I have that sort of rough draft of a to-do list or like it's right here. And then I put stuff on the calendar each day. So like the cool thing about that is like, if you have, let's say this thing written down, like I need to go get an oil change or whatever. Right. It is on your list that entire time, but like you could actually schedule that in from 3 weeks from today. That's and then it's on your calendar and you don't need to like keep looking that you need to get that done and being stressed out about it. You have put it on your calendar to know that it is going to get done.
That's right. We've talked to a couple other who and I live by that same philosophy of like I call it calendar blocking, the strategy. And it's a game changer. It truly is. And we've talked to other founders who have applied it. And we've tried to get our team to do it as well, because it's so eye-opening when you go, you could either do it quarter by quarter or even like plan out for the year of, you're right, like Mondays is this day or Tuesdays is this day, or even like Monday might be broken up of mornings this, afternoons this. And that way your team knows and hey, if it's in this kind of bucket, this is when it gets scheduled in. And it frees up so much of, I think, the burden. And I do a little thing of I just call it like I empty out my head. If I feel really overwhelmed, and even that, I'll just sit down and I'll just write like what is in my head, like the tasks, right? And then I'll go in and go, okay, let's just start putting them in to where they go into the block. and it's like, okay, 5 minutes, done. Like, that's just a stress reliever of get it out, move it on. But I agree with you. The to-do list is super stressful, and it doesn't need to be there. All right. So tell me about like your biggest like oh shit moment.
I think COVID. Um,
When they were like, no events.
no, but I think a lot of the stuff about dealing with cities or like permitting has been really stressful, and it's still really stressful.
Getting permissions and all that.
Yeah, each state and each town or each state and each town is totally different. I remember first like figuring out that I needed like a special alcohol permit. I like knew that there was like, you needed to get some sort of permission for alcohol, right? But like other people had sort of gotten around it, and you get wristbands and you donate, whatever. There's like, and then it was, just realizing that I need a situation because we needed an event permit and just learning about all of that stuff. I remember just like crying on the floor in my office because I told everyone there was going to be cocktails.
Yeah. You're like, we have to bring it.
And, it was okay. We said that we didn't have cocktails. There was a bar next door. Everyone's fine,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's oh shit moments each time with the city because everything keeps on changing also.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's always last minute. It's always like there's something that we didn't get the week before, even though we started the permit process like 4 months ago.
Yeah. A lot of times cities, they make it really hard for people to do business within their own, and yet they want it. Like they flourish when they support the local it supports the local economy the more they support, but they are not easy to deal with. Yeah, you're right. The ever changing. Okay, so if you had to hit rewind, is there anything you would do differently? I can see your wheels turning. I'm like, should I say it?
I don't know. I mean, I think lots of things. I mean, I think maybe, well, one of the things that I'm always grappling with is if we do too much. And each day is different. My answer to that about if I should simplify and double down on things. But I also think it's been one of our greatest strengths and helped us like stand out from other craft fairs or other entrepreneurial communities, like all the things that we offer. But it's challenging. It's challenging to do all the things. And maybe I should have hired different help or more help at a certain time, but it's so hard when the bank account's low to hire someone.
Right. Yeah.
You think, in theory, it's going to bring in more money. And that is always stressful and always something I think about even right now too. Like, do I need to hire like a PR event person, like an ads person, right? And it's really hard to trust in new team members and to trust that cash flow is going to come back.
Yeah. Because you're like, I gotta. It's a risk, right? All right. So if we met up a year from now, what will we be celebrating over cocktails?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's one thing I don't know. I'm like, what can I talk about?
Yeah.
I mean, I think one of my goals is to get our classes a little bit more enrolled. I would really, this is like maybe nitty gritty, but like I would like to get our funnels really more optimized.
Yeah.
Sure that we're really taking our customer on a more supported evergreen journey to get our classes enrolled and for them to, get the tools and knowledge and support that they need from taking these classes. So maybe we'd be celebrating that. More students enrolled.
More students.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to manifest that.
I love it. Yes.
All right. Well, if you could pick 2 things about your business right now that you could change, anything right now, what would it be and why?
Yeah. More money and more team members.
Yeah.
Is that allowed to say?
That's perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
My answer would probably be the same.
Yeah.
If well, okay, well, I'll ask who has been your greatest cheerleader in this journey for you?
Yeah. I feel really, really lucky. I have a very supportive circle. Both my parents were entrepreneurs or are
Oh,
entrepreneurs.
so lucky.
Yeah. And it wasn't something like I didn't really process that until later. Like it wasn't like I'm going to be an entrepreneur because they are an entrepreneur.
Right.
It was like I'm going to be an entrepreneur because I don't want anyone else telling me what to do. And I bet that was picked up from them, like 100%. So they've been pretty supportive. I mean, there's moments where my mom's like, "Are you sure you don't need another job?" But
you're like, Mom, I'm good.
We're past that. My husband has been very supportive. One of my best friends works for GGC, so she is Growing Craft's biggest cheerleader, and I have some friends who are really, really supportive. So I'm very, very grateful for my circle.
I love it. Okay, so you've given everybody kind of like a little bit of flair of what you are into and your interests, but is there something that our listeners would be surprised to learn about you that they can't find on LinkedIn or on your website? That's just, something really interesting.
I don't know if anything's super interesting, but I'm really enjoying gardening right now. I just pulled off my first cucumber. That was pretty big.
Very good. Was it delicious? Did you eat it?
Good. Yeah, okay. It was really good. I like to try and find time for my hobbies. I recently dived into ceramics, and I love ceramics. I'm trying to get back into sewing. I kind of hate sewing. It's sort of like a love-hate relationship.
Well, it was like you had to do it then for business versus pleasure. So now you're trying to like, okay, how do I get back into that?
Yeah. And I just wish, the machine, I don't know. It's sometimes chaotic. But yeah, let's see. I like to, really take care of myself as much as possible when I have spare time. Maybe this is interesting.
Yeah.
I am an extrovert. I've recently transitioned to be an introvert.
Okay. Now talk to me about that. That is weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's really
I've never heard the term extrovert.
Yeah.
And I am an introvert that most people think I'm an extrovert, but I am very comfortable being in my hole.
Yeah, I hear it. I think I would be the same way. I think I was an extrovert my whole life until a few years ago. And maybe it was COVID related. Maybe it was age. Maybe it was, I don't know. But I'm definitely an introvert now. And it takes a lot more out of me to be around folks. I enjoy it. I love people. But I have a little bit more of a time, a time frame.
Yeah. Like
that have before.
So before you were energized, like you fed off the energy from others.
Yeah.
Now that same like crowds or experience, it drains you.
Yeah. It depends who and the circumstances and for how long and all that stuff. But yeah,
it'll just like if I have to be around or do a presentation, I have to be on, or if I go to an event and I have to I'm the worst networker, and I know it's so important, and I love I see the purpose and I love meeting people, but man, when I get home, it's like I'm out. It has drained me. So now you're one of us. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, and it's a weird adjustment. I kind of have to recalibrate things, and it's sort of a new understanding of my needs.
Yeah. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to go, are there more extroverts that are coming into the introvert space because of foundership? So are you an app? I know you have your own podcast. Is it, and it's called Girl Gang Craft too, right? Um, are there other podcasts or resources that you've really found helpful in your journey of becoming a founder and being a CEO? Of where do you go and seek information and content?
Yeah, I feel like I really go through podcast phases of when I'm listening to or when I'm not. I feel like lately I haven't been. I think that's because it depends, like if I'm weightlifting or if I'm like going into a class.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't listen to podcasts if I'm in a class, and I've been doing a lot of Pilates lately. And yeah, I can't listen to podcasts while I work because I really I have to focus.
You've got to, yeah, I can't either. It has to be something where I can pay attention. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in the past, I mean, definitely Jenna Kutcher, Amy Porterfield, and some like witchy podcasts. Let's see, Sarah Goddess Steamer. She has a podcast. Hurry Slowly by Jocelyn K. Glei.
Oh,
Good one.
that sounds like a really good one.
Yeah, I've been interested again in this time management thing, this like how do we structure our days as founders? How do we structure our days as humans? And so I find a lot of those really helpful. I mean, I remember Jenna Kutcher was like, her podcast was the first one who got me to like understand a funnel and make like my first funnel. And that was so valuable. But lately I'm less about tangible tips and tricks and more about like, I have so many things and how do I do them all?
Right. Right.
Where is the time? How do I sit down and do this? I think I know how to do the thing, but I need the
time. Yeah. Yeah. That's fascinating. So as you were listening to those podcasts, what was the best piece of advice that you, or just generally, that you received as a founder that really influenced your own decision making?
I don't know. I just think the like maybe just the be patient with yourself vibe. I mean, that's not like a particular piece of advice, but it comes through
That is
ways. Like, you know,
I don't think we hear that enough.
Yeah, like your journey is not going to look like anyone else's. Like you're right now, like don't compare yourself to someone else's like farther along in the journey or whatever that means, right. Further along to like, maybe that's just BS too, but your journey, your business is so unique that to compare it to someone else's, it doesn't make sense.
No.
And I think what I've learned also is that comparison stuff can really be a trap and can really be a time suck, and like figuring out actually, this is from How to Be a Millionaire. What's her name? I don't remember her name. It'll come to me. She says, like what are some actions that you can do right now to bring in cash? And that is really tangible and action oriented. And like, okay, so I'm going to send 10 emails to partners. I'm going to send 10 emails to wholesale. I'm going to, send my last 20 customers a discount code, whatever it is. Right. Like, how can you bring in cash right now? And that has saved my business multiple times.
Wow. Yeah.
Like this combination of like, okay, like let's take care of ourselves. Let's like honor our body, honor our mood, honor our whatever. And also, how do we bring in money right in this moment?
Right. And have patience to go, the things that you're planning for your business. Some stuff is, I think we as founders and even business, I mean, I work with a lot of, even mature companies and it's like, you got to realize what the runway is on some decisions. If you're thinking that this social media activity is going to generate something immediate, that's probably the wrong expectation. Like some stuff has a longer runway. And you're right. I think so many times, I think we get caught up in the competitive or the like, there's got to be a formula. There's got to be a template. And it's like, there really isn't. Like every business is unique, every founder's journey is unique. And because everyone has different goals, different product setups, different infrastructure, different budgets and goals, there isn't, you can't just look at somebody else from a outsider and go, I want to mimic what they're doing, because you really don't know what they're doing. You got to be like more patient with yourself and really just have more trust in yourself to know you're making the right decisions, right? You're doing the right things. Speaking of your entrepreneurial journey, if you had to sum up in just one word, Phoebe, what would that word be to describe your journey?
I have written down trial.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
I would say trial and error, but just one word. Yeah, I think it's just all, you got to try things.
Yeah.
And maybe experiment. Maybe that's a better one. I like to think of everything as an experiment, right? You can throw spaghetti at the wall, see what sticks, see what happens. And I think, yeah, you have to have it feel a little bit playful. Like it can't be too serious. You have to sort of try these things and, be an observer, like figure out what is working, what is not working, and take it all with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Especially if, like you said, you're catering to a specific community, growing that community, listening to that community, and to see how far you have come over the, was it 7 years? 8? You're going on almost 8 years. Whoa, yeah. And how you evolved to like just sewing your uterus pouches
And
to
also,
now, like where you are today.
And also the world's changed so much too. I mean, obviously none of us could have predicted COVID, all of these things. So like, I think you really have to be flexible with, your experience, your customer's experience, where gaps are in the market, what the market is, what is happening, maybe even throwing some sustainability in there. Like, how are we pivoting to really like support the world and the community?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Experiment. I love the word. That's great. Well, these things go by so fast. I'm always amazed at how fast the episodes are. Before we leave, though, I want to thank you for hanging out. But where can people connect and find out more information about Girl Gang Craft or on you personally? How do you want people to connect with you?
Yeah, you can follow Girl Gang Craft at Girl Gang Craft, or me at Phoebe Sherman, PHOEBE Sherman, SHERMAN, both on Instagram and TikTok. And yeah, maybe you're a crafter and you need some help with some craft fair stuff. We do have a craft fair ebook. That's available at girlgangcraft.com/ebook. And that helps you with like booth design, some selling tips, stuff like that. And that's free for you all.
Oh my gosh. And we'll make sure that we tag all that when we publish this and give you guys some great shout outs. Phoebe, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. I love the conversation. I hope you enjoyed it. And for everyone listening and watching us live, thank you for joining us. This podcast episode will again be coming out this Sunday, available on your favorite podcast platforms. So subscribe to Hello Chaos, like, comment, and share this great episode, and help us build a more connected entrepreneurial community. Hello Chaos is one of the many resources brought to you by OrangeWIP. That is OrangeWIP, WIP for work in progress. OrangeWIP is a multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs in affiliate cities. We're in 3 cities in South Carolina and coming to a city near you any day. Every city needs an OrangeWIP. Just an email to join the community. It is a one-stop content hub just for founders, delivered in an innovative digital zine experience. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast or support us, send us an email to hello@orangewhip.com. Y'all, thank you for tuning in. And Hello Chaos is where AHA meets Oh Shit. I am your host, Jennifer Sutton. JJ, we will see you again next week.